Hi, today we are starting on a new topic under your A-level Unit 3 paper. This is topic 15, System Development, a topic that you always get questions in the past papers. So in this lesson, we will dive into how project management tools and concepts are used in system development. Since topic 15 is a large topic, I'll be doing the entire topic 15 in 5 video lessons. This is the video for section 15.1 project management. As usual, I'll add the screen capture from the Edexcel IT specification. This shows what are the areas they expect you to learn under topic 15, section 15.1. So, as per the spec, you need to know what is project management, why project management is needed for system development, setting up smart targets, tools used in project management such as nodes and Gantt charts requirements, critical path analysis, precedence tables, and then you should be able to interpret and use these tools for project management. Right. So let's start with learning what system development is. When system development is the process of defining, designing, testing, and implementing a new software application or a program. Depending on the size, the scope, and the complexity of the system to be developed, the system development project can run for like few weeks or even several years. So managing a system development project is no different to any other big project, such as building a new highway or a dam or a huge building. So therefore, system development requires a project management methodology and one or more project managers to manage the project. So project management is the process of leading the work of a team to achieve goals and meet success criteria at a specified time within the time, within the scope, within the budget. So as we said earlier, project management is no specific to software project but applicable for all projects in any discipline. But there are some project management methodologies and tools that are used exclusively in the IT industry. So we will learn more about them later in this lesson. Any project management initiative is constrained by three things. It is the responsibility of the project manager or the PM for short to balance these three to achieve the desired outcome of the project deliveries. So these three constraints are the scope, the time, and the cost. So movement of each of these constraints has an impact on the other. When you uh, reduce the time, it affects the quality of the product, and then if you reduce the cost also it affects the quality. Likewise, moving any of three constraints has an impact on the other. Let's look at how triple constraints are affecting the projects in detail. First up, the scope constraints. This is where the scope of the project keeps on expanding or changing during the project is executed. So while the project team is working, the scope or the scope getting changed. So it is a problem. So it could happen due to false expectations from stakeholders or due to features and scope creeping into the project that was not part of the original scope. It could also be due to internal threats. And then we have time constraints, like poor time estimations, like overtiming or undertiming, and also like external and internal delays that we don't have a control, and also incorrect estimation that methods that the team has used. And then we have cost constraint, such as incorrect cost estimation, changes in pricing, and poor management of the budget. So those are the three constraints. Next, we will see the features of project management. And these are the things we do when we manage a project, right? So we do planning and scheduling. We need to plan the project, phase it, and then we have to put milestones and then schedule tasks according to the priorities and dependencies with other tasks. And then we do collaboration. We need to share the project plan with the project team and other dependent teams to collaborate on issues, tracking the project progress, update the status, uncover the blocking issues. So we can use software tools to track and share the project plan, such as Microsoft Project, the MS Project tool. And then we do documentation. Document the task, the phases, changes to the progress of task, and the requirements, the risk, changes in budget and spending. And then we do reporting. We need to generate reports on the project status and share with the stakeholders, share with the businesses where we are standing and when they can expect their deliveries and so on. And then we do resource management. uh, we need to maintain available resources, human resources, hardware resources, software resources, and any resources that is applicable to the project. And then assign these resources to the task, identify critical resources and shortfalls, and then take actions. We need to give training and skill upgrades if people need any, if there are any skill issues. Likewise, we need to manage the resources. They are vacation time and everything we need to manage within a project. And then we do budget management. You enter budget details, do revisions to the budget, and then manage time billing and the automated billing stuff, and then identify the differences of the actuals versus the budgeted amounts, and identify any overspend or even potential overspend, and bring to notice of relevant management teams, and make sure the budget is not going out of scope. And then we need to do risk management. Maintain a risk registry and document mitigation plans. We need to identify any possible risk, and also we need to proactively identify any mitigation plans for each of these risks. And then we need to inform the management of these critical risk issues and get their help to eliminate or reduce the impact of these risks. Right. So these are the features of or the characteristics of the project management. Now let's see why project management is such an important thing. It's like the glue that holds everything together in a business. It's all about making sure that things get done right on time and within budget. Uh, you are going to juggle all these factors, the money, the deadlines, and what exactly needs to get done. And it's not just about getting stuff done, it's about getting it done correctly with good quality at the right time. So that means planning things out, getting organized, and then keeping a close eye on everything to make sure it's all going according to the plan. And when you do it right, it's like magic. Businesses get more efficient, they make more money, and everyone is happier. So project management can help businesses to improve their productivity, efficiency, and profitability. So plus, think about how much smoother things can run when everyone is on the same page. That's what project management does. So it helps team work together like a well-oiled machine. Less drama, fewer mix-ups, and way less stress. So bottom line is, in today's crazy competitive world, you gotta have solid project management practices if you wanna come out on the top and shine with your businesses. Right. Yeah. So, what are the reasons for using project management? Because it helps to define the scope of the project. Basically, what we need to achieve with clear boundaries. It identifies key issues, assumptions. It helps to keep track of the progress of at any given time. And project management help to establish good process standards, methods, and project management gives a good understanding of the roles and responsibilities of each person in the team, and it helps to use the resources in the most optimal way through resource planning, and it helps to work within a budget and control the cost and the budget, because we are tracking it. So overall project management helps to deliver the results, work as a team, and learn from mistakes and failures, and uh, coming back to track and uh, deliver our products and projects or services. So, what are the characteristics of a successful project? A successful project completes within the allocated time and within the allocated budget, and also complete the agreed scope, use the resources optimal way, and finally deliver the completed project to the customer as promised. So, those are the characteristics of a successful project. So when we set the targets for a project, we should always set smart targets. There's a better meaning why we call these smart target. Let's see why we call these targets as smart targets. Yeah. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time based. Your target should be specific and narrow and sharp. In other words, clearly defined for effective planning. Your target should be able to measure, so it helps to track the progress. And the targets you set should be achievable and realistic, and the goal set should align with the project delivery, and the target should have a realistic time to complete. So this is how we should set up goals. They should be smart targets and smart goals. You just can't say we are going to cover a requirement a within few months. It's not measurable, right? And it's not specific. And you have to be specific, saying we are going to create the login page of XYZ web application uh, in 7 working days. And it is, and it's also achievable. You are not telling we are going to achieve it within 5 minutes, right? So it's, we need to make sure that our smart targets are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time based. Right. So when we are doing project management, we need to use a tool that fit the purpose of its use for the specific project, because any tool will not fit for every project. So let's see the tools that we learn under our scope. So one such tool we learn is the precedence diagram method, called as PDM in short. It's a technique used in project management to visually represent the sequence of activities in a project. So in this visual diagram you have on the screen, we have activity boxes. Each task or activity in the project is represented by a box. You can see there are A, B, C, D, E, and F tasks. And then we have arrows. Arrows are used to show the dependencies between activities. It's like, for an example, if activity A must be completed before activity B can start, there will be an arrow going from A to B. And then can see the activity C. Activity C can start only when A and B both tasks are completed, likewise. And then we have nodes. It represents the start and the end of each activity. Uh, Right. And then we have dependencies. PDM focuses on showing the relationships between activities. And then by analyzing the diagram, you can identify the critical path, which is the longest sequence of dependent activities that must be completed on time for the finish finish on schedule. And the activities on the critical path have zero float or slack time. So overall, PDM helps project managers visualize the workflow, understand, can clearly see the dependencies between the tasks, and then identify the critical path to ensure that project stays on track. Critical path analysis involves identifying all paths to the project network diagram, and then calculate the duration of each path, and determining which is the longest path, which we also call as the critical path. Then we have the tool called Gantt charts. Gantt chart is another popular tool in project management for visualizing schedules and timelines. In a Gantt chart, tasks or activities are listed down the left side of the chart. You can see on the screen, and each task is represented as a horizontal bar. Along the top or bottom of the chart, there's a time scale indicating the project timeline. In the screen, it's on the top, and then it's usually broken down into days or weeks or months depending on the project's duration. And then the tasks are represented by bars positioned along the timeline. You can see uh, there are tasks on your left side, and in front of each task the time duration is marked in color boxes. So longer the bar indicates longer task. You can see these task bars in blue and purple colors on the screen. Then we see the dependencies. While Gantt charts can show dependencies between tasks, they don't emphasize them as much as uh, shown in the PDM diagrams. If you can see the PDM diagrams in our previous screen, the dependencies are clearly visible, right? The task C is dependent on completion of task A and B. But in the Gantt charts, it's not so clear, right? Uh, so they don't emphasize them as much as the PDM diagrams. Dependencies might be indicated by the relative position of task on the chart, but they are not typically as explicit as in the PDM diagrams. Resource allocation. Some Gantt charts also include information about resource allocation, showing which resources are assigned to which task and when, and all that. In a complex Gantt chart, you can see the resource allocation as well. And when we talk about the critical path in Gantt charts, while Gantt charts can display the critical path, it's not as immediately obvious as in the PDM diagrams. Project managers might need to perform additional analysis to identify the critical path accurately. This is program evaluation and review technique. We call this it as PERT. PERT is a method used to examine the task in a schedule and determine a critical path method. It analyzes the time required to complete each task and its associated dependencies to determine the minimum time to complete a project. So it estimates the shortest possible time each activity will take, the most likely length of time, and the longest time that might be taken if the activity takes longer than expected. I know. Yeah, let's see an example per diagram so you can understand what it says. Right. So in this is an example of a per diagram, and there are tasks as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and the tasks are marked inside the boxes. The green color values shows the earliest start and finish times, and the blue ones show the latest start and finish times. So how to fill and get the values inside these boxes? You can see the duration marked on top of each box. So those are the values that you need to complete the numbers inside the boxes. It's a bit tricky to understand, but once you understand the correct method, it's easy as cake, and it's easy to score marks as well. And I have added a separate video on how to complete a per diagram with clear instructions. If I do it here, it will take this video will drag too long. So I have added the video on how to complete a per diagram. You can see that video and do it yourself as well after learning. Right. Another tool is the precedence tables. It's a technique used in PERT to identify the dependencies among different activities. The precedence table shows what activities must proceed before another activity can be started. For example, if you check the sample table on the right, You can see that in the third row. That activity C has activities B and E as predecessors. It means that for activity C to start, activities B and E must be completed. It also means that if activities B or E or both does not complete on time, when activity C is to start, then activity C will get delayed because it can't start because both the predecessors, either one or both predecessors, has not completed. And in turn, as per the table, since activity C is a predecessor of activity H, then activity H might get delayed and so on. It continues. So precedence tables lets the project managers and project teams to identify what activities they must do first and what next. So it also allows the project management to track what the impact is on an ongoing project if any of the ongoing activities are delayed. So they know the impact to each and every task. Okay, so now we have covered what you need to learn under section 15.1 project management. In there, I promised I will teach on how to fill a PERT diagram, and the link to that video you can see on the screen. So study well. See you guys with another lesson.